Welcome to A Novel Console, your weekly podcast where we talk about books, games, food, and stuff that caught our attention during the week. My name is Chris, and with me is my beautiful co-host and wife, Karradyne.
Karradyne!
What was that?
I'm trying new things every time. It's fine.
I mean, it's been a while since you tried something new like that, but...
Karradyne.
Okay, that's weird.
Taking it back to Middle-earth March.
No, taking it back to October month, the spooky month that we did. Remember that?
Yeah.
That was such a long time ago.
And Middle-earth March.
Yeah. So how you been? You been good?
I've been really fucking lazy. How have you been?
I've been working a lot.
I'm very sorry.
It's fine.
We're paying the bills. That's all that matters, right?
Yeah.
Paying the bills, living the life.
Unfortunately.
Woo, hey.
I don't like paying bills.
I don't either, but...
I want all my money to go to crap that I don't need.
Same.
Yeah.
I want all of my money to go right into my bookshelves and my mouth. We spend a lot of money on food. It's a problem.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we do.
We do.
And did.
We do and did and will.
Do. Yeah. So, guess what happened recently? You know, because you live with me, so.
I think you may have gotten a package in the mail.
I did get a package in the mail.
What was that package you got in the mail?
First off, let me just tell the story.
Oh, God.
About more than a month ago, Limited Run Games posted that they were giving away a PlayStation 5 with a Limited Run Game bundle. So I saw it while I was on our Twitter, so I signed up for the thing. I didn't even fill out all the chances that you get to get extra tickets, to get extra entries for you to be...
You, follow their Facebook page, share on Facebook, tweet, all that stuff?
Yeah, follow their Twitch, all that stuff. So I did most of them. There was a couple that I didn't do because...
Sometimes that stuff is a lot.
Yeah, they asked for a lot. But it's cool. So on the 9th this month, I got an email saying, you won our PlayStation 5 and LRG price pack. Please go to this link and fill out the information. And
of course, my first thought was that it was a scam.
Mine too. I was going to write it off as a scam.
Like, what?
So I go in and I start seeing everything. It's like a legal document. And I'm like, oh shit, this might be...
legit.
It might be real. And I keep reading it and everything is like on the up and up, no credit card information, no social security numbers being asked for. So it's like super legit. So
just your address so they could come kill us.
Yeah. So I filled it out. I sent the lady that sent me the email, who's actually Kara at Limited Run Games. She's the one that runs their Twitch channel. I think she's the community manager. She's the one that emailed. And I said, hey, I filled out all the information. Let me know if you need anything else. Said I didn't hear anything back from her for a couple of days. And then out of nowhere, I get an email saying, this is your tracking number. We just shipped the package. And then she sends me an email a few minutes later saying, hey, here's your tracking number. Please let us know when it arrives. And if you have your socials and whatever. And I was like, holy shit, this is real. And you were giving me shit about it not being real or it being a scam or whatever until you saw the PlayStation. Like, I still can't believe that I won that PlayStation.
It was very real.
So
very large box.
A ginormous box. And it was supposed to arrive, Monday when you guys are listening to this, but it arrived Saturday. So I've just been staring at it incredulous because I won a PlayStation 5. I have never won anything before that big. I did win that $200 gift card from JRR, but that's completely different.
Yeah, because we went through and looked up how much each of the games that they included is worth, and it's hot damn.
Yeah, because the thing is, Limited Run Games, they do batches of video games, and they're numbered. And
Limited Run Games.
And they do one run, so if you don't get your pre-order in, you're not getting anything. And a lot of people buy a couple of copies, and they just sell them forward on the internet. And the games that I got, which I actually think they might have somebody in here, but I can't confirm it because there was one game that they didn't send, and if they would have sent that, then yeah, they definitely have someone here. That game would have been Bloodstained. Any of the Bloodstained, they're all great. But they sent Samurai Jack.
The game he reviewed in episode 1.
Yes, our first
Terrible episode.
Yeah, terrible episode. Great game. The other one was Metal Slug Anthology.
Which we played together.
Yeah, we actually reviewed 1, 2, and 3. I'm not exactly 100% sure, but we did. And River City Girls, which is a beat 'em up that we're going to play and review for the podcast. And the other one was Celeste, which is a game about overcoming depression with really good music and platforming that's hard as balls. But yeah, so we were looking up at the prices, and the prices are insane. Like Samurai Jack on the low goes for like $110, and the rest of the games,
Which is just insane to me.
yeah, like I am completely flabbergasted. I am.
You know how much the book that I reviewed in the first episode costs?
How much?
Like $15 if you get a paperback. Maybe cheaper.
The game cost me like $25 digital. So was it 25? Was it 40? I don't remember. It was worth the money. But yeah, I am eternally grateful to Limited Run Games that they picked me. I have no words.
Chris from Orlando
Yeah, Chris from Orlando.
is always winning. Told him he needs to play the lottery. Come on.
Yeah, I'm not gonna win that. I played a scratch off today. I won $2.
Hey, that's progress.
That's
We got to
true.
work our way up.
That's true. Just every $2 that I keep winning, we'll put away into our get rich quick fund, which is probably gonna take until the day we die.
Let's not think about it that way.
Yeah.
It's fine.
But yeah, so Limited Run Games, hey, thank you. We really appreciate it. We're going to enjoy this PlayStation. We're going to do a lot of streams from it. We're going to do a lot of gaming on it. We are going to love it. And if you guys want to send us more free stuff.
We're going to watch Lord of the Rings in HD on it.
Yes, we are.
Yay!
So if you guys want to send us more free stuff, I mean, you guys have our email. And
Steelbook 4K editions of Lord of the Rings.
and
I don't think they have that.
No,
No.
it's just video games.
If anyone who does have that hears this and wants to send that to me,
Our address
I would
is
accept it and promote it heavily. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Orlando, Florida.
Yeah.
But yeah, Limited Run Games. If you want to send us more free stuff, we'll review it happily. There's no problem with us doing that. I mean, we love video games and we love limited runs of stuff. So, again, thank you guys. And what else have we done apart from winning a PlayStation?
We went on a really fun date night.
We did?
We went to Castaways. We had some bar food. They have the best beer cheese dip ever
In the world?
in the world. We didn't review it though because date night.
Yeah.
But we had a beer together for the very first time after I broke his heart when I ordered beer and he didn't realize it and I drank it before he got there and then he got the check with the beer and he just thought that they put the wrong beer on his check.
I was like,
Oops.
it's cool. We're with our coworkers. We're all having fun. I'll pay for somebody's beer. I don't care. And then I told her, it's like, they put a beer on our...
It's like, oh yeah, that was
I
mine.
was like, what? You drink beer?
I did. Blue Moon, I can stomach. That's the only one.
You broke my heart that day.
Well, we finally eradicated that last night. Rectified. Whatever.
Rectified it.
I don't know words right now.
We rectold it.
I'm still feeling the beer.
Yeah.
I've had the laziest day ever.
Before we got there, my boss texted me. He's like, hey, one of the guys is out tomorrow. He was the only driver. Can you come in? And
When
I'm
we
like,
had so many fucking errands to run today.
So many plans.
Many.
And
We planned out the whole damn day. We were even going to wake up early to do all this shit.
I texted him back. I'm like, do I go in at 10 tomorrow? He said, yeah, it's 10 till whenever you finish. I'm like, okay, so that gives me until 1 in the morning to be awake. So let's try to drink as much as possible without dying. So
Yeah, I definitely thought I was dying when I woke up at 4 o'clock this morning to pee.
I have I still have a hangover.
I rolled over and I was just like, I'm on a boat. I'm on a boat. I'm on a boat. Okay.
It was a fun date night. We should do that again.
It was, but maybe like less alcohol or more pretzel bites to soak up the alcohol.
Okay.
More pretzel bites to soak up the alcohol.
I'll eat all the pretzel bites.
We'll just go for the pretzel bites and the alcohol.
And the fried calamari.
We'll go on a weeknight. So it's half price.
So it's super cheap.
Castaways, if you are in the East Orlando area, has an awesome happy hour during the week before 7 p.m. I think it's from like 3 to 7.
That sounds about right.
Check it out.
Yeah. And we have another month planned out. I thought about this today while I was at work being angry and hungover.
I'm really nervous about it, but it's only fair since I took over our entire lives for a whole month.
I mean, it's fine. And this is not going to be like a search for like perfect food or whatever, because those after the fried chicken.
I ain't doing that again. Nope.
I mean,
I gag if I think about chicken and waffles. I gag.
We could do a.
No. We're not doing any more themed
A ramen month.
But then you're going to drag me to Naruto, and I'm going to die inside.
We're going to give that garbage. There's going to be garbage from now. Naruto is
I don't want to knowingly go to a place that I know is going to be garbage. I want to experience garbage genuinely and not having expected it to be garbage, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I know. I know what you mean. I can feel that. But yeah, no, our month is going to be May. We're going to, not May, June. What I wrote May. I'm an idiot.
No, we're not doing that for May.
No.
June will be Zelda Month.
Zelda Month. So we're going to run over... we're going to do a parallels because I do have the manga. So I'm going to have you read the mangas and I'm going to read them too so we can both talk about them. And I'm going to play the games that are related to the mangas. So I know that one of them is Ocarina of Time and another one is Link to the Past, and there's the Oracle one. So we just need to sit down, make a list, what days we're going to talk about what, and then I'll have all of May to play them and get them done.
Do you know how many times I went into like Box Lunch or Hot Topic or somewhere like that pre-meeting you, or really even I think pre-moving to Florida, and saw Zelda stuff and thought it was Beauty and the Beast at first glance? And then, like, picked it up and realized it was Zelda. You know the stained glass? That's why I thought it was Beauty and the Beast. It's funny, right?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
You wouldn't wound me. You wound me. Don't ever say that again. Please.
I still don't understand why it's called Zelda and the little boy's name is not Zelda.
It's The Legend of Zelda, and you play as Link. And Link is the connection between the player and the world in which Zelda is the princess of. And the legend is that Link saved Zelda.
That's why his name is Link, because he is a Link.
Yes.
Oh, that's witty.
Yeah, it's kind of weird too, though. I mean, it's literally L-I-N-K. So, like, literally Link. It's not L-I-N-C, like Lincoln.
What the fuck are you saying? L-I-N-K is literally to link something together.
Exactly. His name is literally to link something together. It's not that his name Link is an abbreviation for a name like Lincoln. I never would have
thought that Link was an abbreviation for Lincoln. How does your brain work?
It's stupid. That's how it works.
It's not stupid. It's just confusing.
It's filled with potatoes.
Oh. I'm telling you, I'm sick of meat and potatoes. You got to stop doing that.
Oh, too bad. That's what powers my brain.
Oh, God.
All right, so let's go ahead and get into this week's discussion time.
Woo!
So for this week's discussion time, we are talking about our favorite books and games of all time. Karradyne, say it with me. Of all time. Yes.
I would like to preface this by saying that mine might be more loose of a list than his.
I want to say my number 5 can change sometimes, but 4, 3, 2, 1 are solid stays. So how do you want to do this? Do you want to start?
I suppose I could.
Okay. What is your number 5 book of all time?
My number 5 is A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. And part of me wonders if this should just be a top 10 and not a top 5 book, but I don't know. It really, I don't know the word that I'm looking for here. It really molded me and really, really helped me get through a very, very tough time. And it is the reason I think of you as my Rhysand.
Your what?
You're the Rhysand to my Feyre. The two main characters.
I thought you were saying.
Rhysand.
I thought you were saying the Rhysand. Like,
No.
The Rhysand
No.
of my heart.
Rhysand is his name.
Rhysand.
I always pronounced it in my head as Rhysand, because I think that sounds a lot better
Then Rhysand.
and call him Rhys for short. I called him Riz for short in my head before hearing her, Sarah J. Maas, pronounce these names, and I cringed a little bit.
So what are these books about? What's this one book about?
So this is the second book in the A Court of Thorns and Rose series. They are about the High Fae, which are kind of like elvish fairy people. They're like human size though, so don't think of them as little fairies or anything like that. But the first book is a Beauty and the Beast retelling. This book is a Hades...
Oh, not a Legend of Zelda retelling?
Oh my god.
I'm not going to let that go.
This book is a Hades and Persephone retelling.
Like last week?
Sort of. It's not the same Hades.
So, there's no Zagreus?
No.
Damn it.
No, definitely not. Although I guess you could say there is a Zagreus and a Court of Silver Flames, but that we're getting way too deep into this. But more or less, Feyre is in like this really, really terrible, semi-abusive relationship, and Rhysand saves her from it, kind of gives her an outlet, and then they eventually turn out to be mates. But not only does she find love in him, but she kind of has her found family. And I read this when I was going through, or right before I broke up with my ex, very, very, very toxic relationship. And I think that this book just kind of gave me the push I needed to do that. So, thank this book, darling.
I'm not going to laugh at that, because I at one point I did break up with one ex, and
You were inspired by a video game?
a video game helped me forget all the bullshit that happened. It was Watch Dogs. It's a fucking terrible game.
What? The pig face thing?
It was the first one, and it was a terrible game.
That is the pig face thing, though, right?
Yes, that's Legion. That's not the one that I
Oh.
played, yeah. It was really bad, and it just distracted me from the whole thing, so I can understand having something of entertainment carry you through something that's...
Right, because when you're in a really bad place and you find something that's even somewhat relatable, you just latch onto it.
Yeah, it was about hackers shooting people and stealing cars.
What?
So...
That's not relatable.
Exactly.
Okay.
All right, so my number 5 is Dragon Ball Z Boo's Fury for the Game Boy Advance. I remember waiting like crazy for this game to come out when it came out. Long story short, a company called Infogrames made a game called the Dragon Ball Z: The Legacy of Goku, which was a abhorrent game. It was terrible.
What made it so bad?
Hit detection was all over the place. You didn't have any special powers unless you unlocked them. Characters would one-shot you for no reason. Goku was extremely overpowered. The only way to beat enemies was by cheesing them from far away, throwing ki blasts. It's just a really bad game. But because it was Dragon Ball Z, and I'm a whore for Dragon Ball Z, I bought the game. I beat it 1,000,000 times. Then The Legacy of Goku 2 came out, and that one was way cooler because not only did you have Goku, you also had Gohan, Trunks, Piccolo, and Vegeta to play as. And I saw in a magazine that Boo's Fury was coming out, and it was just the third arc, which was the Boo Saga. And you get to use Goku, Gohan, Vegeta, Trunks, and Goten. And you'll get to do the fusion dance and everything. And they added so much cool stuff to this game that I need to have this game.
And you don't understand, like, just how accurate it is that he is a whore for this game. Because when we were talking about possible vaccine side effects 10 years from now, it was like, what if we grow tails? He's excited because he will be a Saiyan.
Yeah. Saiyans had tails. The thing is, when this game was going to come out, there was a storm that went over Puerto Rico, and it was mostly just a rainstorm. But it knocked out power for the entire island. And for some reason, GameStop kept opening, so I would walk to GameStop with a backpack full of games that I wanted to trade in so that I could get this game. And I would go there, and I'd be like, do you have Boost Fury? Not yet. The USPS truck hasn't come through. Or not yet. We haven't received it. And I did that for like a week straight waiting for that game. And I said, okay, can I at least do my trade so that I can get the money for the game? No, the system's not working. Then what's the point of you guys being open?
That's adorable.
There's no power in the source open. So, anyways, I got the game. I started playing it. I fell in love with it. I'm still in love with it. And I'm probably going to stream it if I manage to get the Game Boy Advance emulator running on the Nintendo Mini.
There you go.
So, Dragon
Keep
Ball
an eye
Z.
out for that.
Boost Fury, so good. So freaking good. It's a top-down action RPG. Looks like a Super Nintendo game. The sprite work is amazing. It's beautiful. The music is typical Dragon Ball Z fare. You get to go Super Saiyan. You get to equip new items to make you walk slower but gain more experience. It is just a delight of a game. So good.
So my number 4 is To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. Yes, I went there. The book all of you probably fucking hated because you were required to read it in high school, except my husband wasn't because apparently they don't even learn Roy G. Biv where he went to school.
Nope.
Come on.
Nope. We didn't get American novels in school.
So my mom actually really loved this book when she was in school too, and she had me read it, I think when I was in about the 5th grade. So needless to say, it didn't really have the same effect on me then, but I did enjoy it. But I had to reread it in my 9th grade English class with the same English teacher that taught it to my mother.
What?
Yes. Also, this woman inspired the character of Sue Sylvester on Glee, the cheerleading coach, played by Jane Lynch.
The character...
My English teacher is the cheerleading coach that inspired the Glee cheerleading coach.
You gotta be kidding me.
I am not... Okay, personal information. It's from a town called Sylvester, and her name was Sue Sylvester. My English teacher was Sue Youngblood. And she was the cheerleading coach, and she did so much shit that was on that show. Oh. And then we figured out that one of the writers went to our high school.
And was her student.
Yes, because this woman was teaching my mother in the 80s.
That is crazy.
Right?
That is insane.
Right? This woman, cuckoo, nice, but kind of crazy. Anyway.
How old is she now?
Well, she's retired.
200?
She is retired, finally. She retired after Belle graduated, my sister. She's taught, like, everybody in the family except my brother now.
Probably taught your grandpa, too.
Right? No, he didn't go to high school there. But, yeah, no, so she taught this to our 9th grade English class and made us write letters to... people who, like, we considered to be heroes, because there's this quote from Atticus Finch that's something like, let me pull up the exact quote. So the quote is, "I wanted you to see what real courage is, instead of getting the idea that courage is a man with a gun in his hand. It's when you know you're licked before you begin, but you begin anyway and see it through no matter what." So she had us write letters to people in our lives that embodied that quote. And I'm going to cry. I actually wrote my letter to my grandma, who is still living, my only living grandparent, just because she had, up to that point, cared for her father for several years until he passed away. She was in the process of caring for my Aunt Lynn, who was bedridden from a stroke and a heart attack, and a battle with lupus that she fought her entire life. And she took care of them every single day. And it just, I don't know. I think that also led to me loving the book even more, because it I don't know, brought us closer together. I can't talk because I'm too emotional. Oh, God, listen to this funny thing he's going to tell you while I go cry.
Before I say the funny thing, I think we got to stop doing these top ones because these always get you.
Make me emotional!
You always cry.
I can't help it. But that way you know it's real. You know it's so real.
I have a quote, right? And it's from somebody famous. This person goes by H. Simpson, and he says,
H. Simpson, are you fucking kidding me?
shut up.
Oh, my God.
Get it down. He says, books are useless. I only ever read one book, To Kill a Mockingbird, and it gave me absolutely no insight on how to kill mockingbirds. Sure, it taught me not to judge a man by the color of his skin, but what good does that do me?
In terms of killing birds. That's terrible. Terrible.
I need to memorize that quote because I just love it. It's so good.
And honestly, I bought Go Set a Watchman the day it published, but I have yet to read it because of all of the criticism in terms of it painting Atticus Finch as the complete opposite as what he was portrayed as in To Kill a Mockingbird. And I know people change with age, but God, this book was so pivotal, I feel like, in terms of conveying what race relations were then. I don't know if I'll ever read it. It'll sit on my shelf forever, but I might not ever read it. I feel like if
they make To Kill a Mockingbird into a TV show, like
it's a movie,
like Riverdale.
Oh, what?
I think people would be less racist.
Oh, God.
Because people eat that shit up. Riverdale is Archie. Archie is super lame. So if these producers can create something as entertaining as Riverdale with a source material as lame as Archie, then they can do it with To Kill a Mockingbird.
I mean, I guess they could possibly
set it in modern day times and, just have some thing going on that's terrible, like in the book.
Yeah.
So,
I suppose.
Maybe it'll learn them something. So, my 4-number game, my number 4 game.
My 4-number game?
Yes, it is Final Fantasy VI, Final Fantasy III in America.
Wait, Final Fantasy made this list, but
Yes.
Can I give a spoiler and say Kingdom Hearts didn't?
Yeah.
You got 2 video game tattoos. Those are the only tattoos you have. And neither one of those games made this fucking list. I only have 1 bookish tattoo, and the book made the list.
The thing
What the hell is wrong with you?
I love those games.
You are lies.
Those games are BioShock and Kingdom Hearts. They are in my top 10.
Mm-hmm.
But they are not games that formed me.
Uh-huh. You wouldn't take them onto the desert island.
Exactly. These 5 games I would take into the desert island. All right, so Final Fantasy VI, it's an RPG made by Squaresoft, which is now Square Enix, which are the people that create Final Fantasy, obviously. And this game, I remember the first time I played it, my cousin Omar had a cartridge of it for some reason, and I had a Super Nintendo, and he comes over, he's like, hey, let's play this game. I don't have a Super Nintendo, so we started playing it. And I fell in love with it. It was super pretty. It was an RPG turn-based, which I didn't like turn-based RPGs, but the game was so entertaining and so good, and there's no main character, and there's like 20 party members, and some of them can actually die permanently if you don't do specific conditions that are met. And the craziest thing about the entire game, guess what it is?
What?
Guess. Take a wild guess. You're never going to guess it.
It has real people. I have no idea where I'm going with this.
Yeah. No.
What? I don't know anything about video games except what I listen to you say every week.
So, the crazy thing about this game is that halfway through the game, the villain wins.
What?
And destroys the world.
What?
Yes. He scatters your party. He makes a lot of them have amnesia. He becomes a god. He builds a tower in the middle of the world that reaches the heavens. and he is atop, sitting like a god.
Like the Tower of Babel?
Yes.
What the fuck? That's weird.
The game is crazy good, and it's kind of like steampunk-ish, but it's also very magic punk. It's so good. This is one of my favorite games of, well, it's my favorite game of all time. And if you haven't played Final Fantasy 6 or 3, you definitely should play it. Which actually it's in the Super Nintendo Mini. It came with it, but finding one of those now is kind of a nightmare. They go for almost $200. And they still haven't put it digital on the Switch shop. But if you can find a way to play it, I would recommend playing it. Oh, there's also a lot of repros for this game for the Game Boy Advance. So if you have a Game Boy Advance, maybe get one of these repros. So what's your book 3?
My third book is one that I've talked about quite a lot on this podcast. I'm sorry. So I won't delve too much into it because you've heard me go on and on about it before. But it's The House in the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune. I cried
when you were reviewing it.
For the top, what was it? Did we do top 10 of the year?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Did we do a full episode?
On this book? I don't think so.
No? Mm-mm. Yeah, that doesn't sound right.
I don't think I did a full episode for Addie LaRue either, and that was my number 2.
That's true.
I'm pretty sure I only did those in the top 10.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. So what do you want to tell me about this book that you haven't said already?
That I haven't said already? Yeah. Oh, dear. It's like, I'm trying to remember what the comparison was, and I don't remember if I said this on that episode of the podcast or not, but it's like 1984 meets something happy and fantastical.
Wasn't it like X-Men in 1984?
Yeah, it's X-Men in 1984. That's what it was. So I have mentioned it before.
Yeah, you have.
But it's like happier fairyland gnome cuteness. It's 1984 meets X-Men meets Hotel Transylvania. There we go.
There we go. Yeah. Yeah, that sounds familiar now. Yeah.
It's the cutest thing ever. It has LGBTQ representation. It has the cutest children ever.
It has a blob that wants to be a butler.
A blob that wants to be a butler. I always think of Hotel Transylvania when I think of him because of that blob thing. But this blob can talk. And a feisty little gnome girl and a little dragon who hoards coins and buttons. And it is the most wholesome and heartwarming and heart-wrenching and just... Oh, yeah, and the Antichrist. I forget about him. He's a really sweet little boy, Lucy.
That's good. That book just sounds...
It's amazing. It is an emotional roller coaster.
I want to reread
it.
Weren't you telling my aunt?
Yeah, I told her to read it. Yes, I told her to listen to the audio, too, because the narrator is really good.
That's funny.
So if you're looking for audiobook recommendations, I'm your girl.
Yeah, girl.
Come at me.
Yeah.
Just message us on a novel console or a anovelconsole@gmail.com and ask me for audiobook recs. And yes. I will give you all of them.
She will give you all of them. She will give you all of the ones you don't want to.
I have my least favorite narrators and my favorite narrators.
So, my number 3, Castlevania, Aria of Sorrow.
The vampires!
Not in this game. Well, yes,
vampires!
In this. Technically, you're in this game.
Vampires!
So this, I was weird about Castlevanias because I had played a couple of them, but I hated them. I also hated Metroid. And then I played this game, and this game unlocked the love for the Metroidvania genre.
Isn't it cool when that happens?
Like, this game clicked, and it just worked perfect. So the game takes place in 2035.
Wait, what?
Yes, 2035. What? You're Soma Cruz, an exchange student in Japan.
What? You're not in like Transylvania?
No, in Japan. What? It gets crazier. And somehow your childhood best friend also lives in that place in Japan and is like a maiden of a shrine. And during an eclipse in 2035, they get sucked into Dracula's castle. that was sealed in the eclipse. So your task is to get out of the castle before the eclipse ends. Because if you're still in the castle when the eclipse ends, you become the new Dracula.
Oh, that's fun.
So the whole game, you're just trying to find a way to get out of the castle. And there's another character in the game that's a Dark Lord candidate who wants to become Dracula himself. And,
I mean, I think it would be pretty cool to be Dracula.
yeah, but then you become Dracula and they kill you. So yeah, that doesn't.
But I'm Dracula. I can kill them before they kill me.
You're new Dracula. And the cool thing about the game is that it has like this soul system where every monster that you kill, you can take their soul, and it either will give you a special attack or ability or stat boosts or special things that you couldn't do before, like backdashes, floating in the air, double jumps, stuff like that. Turning into a bat, which is super cool. And the game just looks amazing on Game Boy Advance. It plays so good to the point where I played it recently before we even started the podcast, and I was in love with it all over again. I love Castlevania Aria of Sorrow. I should probably review it for the podcast, and I do want to stream it because it is so good. I actually think it's better than Symphony of the Night, which is episode 12, 14. The first one where we started doing the cold opens.
Oh,
Yeah.
that one.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Bleh, bleh, bleh. Yeah.
Are you still missing a Castlevania Funko Pop?
Yes. No, not
No.
Castlevania. I'm missing Persona Pops.
Persona.
Yes, I'm
Not
missing
Castlevania.
No, I'm missing Joker from Persona. Hey, if you want to send me Joker from Persona, the Funko Pop, send it to me. I'd love it.
I feel like we're asking for too much on this episode.
It's okay. We never asked for anything except for people to subscribe to our Patreon, which is $2 a month.
Yeah. Very affordable.
Yeah, but if you can see my top, my 3, 4, and 5 are Game Boy Advance games.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I actually played a lot of Game Boy Advance
On
games.
the toilet?
Yeah, and when I was in middle school. So I feel like all of these games actually helped me and stuff. Final Fantasy VI came to Game Boy Advance after I had gotten out of high school, but I did play that on the Super Nintendo, and the copy that I currently have physical is for the Game Boy Advance. So
Nice.
it counts. So what's your book 2?
My book 2, I had a hard time. I feel like I should just go with the whole fucking trilogy for one book. But I chose The Return of the King. Because I feel... Oh, shut up! Shut your face!
That wasn't me.
You can't ask me to choose my tops of all time
That was my coaster.
and not expect The Lord of the Rings to be there in some way, shape, or form. So, yeah. If you remember my review, I learned a lot in The Return of the King that I had forgotten. Especially like about Sam and how Sam thinks about taking the ring and turning the world into a garden.
Yeah. That was a fun episode.
That warmed my heart a lot.
I hated the game that I played on that episode, but
I'm so sorry.
yeah, who can blame me? That game it's such an amazing premise, but it's terrible.
But yeah, the trilogy as a whole, I would have to take with me just for nostalgic purposes to the desert island.
We're not going to an island. These are our top ones.
I know, but I can't leave it behind. I just can't. But I feel like I've said everything that could be said about these books.
Yes, and if you haven't heard, I'm going to tell you right now what the number episodes are so you guys can
Every
go.
single Lord of the Rings episode.
So it is episode 28, 29, 30, and 31.
My favorite episodes ever.
They were fun to record, but please, God, no more Lord of the Rings. I am over it.
And if you want to see something really cool, you can look at my Bookstagram at A Novel Kingdom and see my wicked editing skills where I go to Middle Earth. It was actually not that great, but I was proud of it because that's the first time I've done anything like that.
Yeah, you still haven't paid me for that.
What?
The $5 for plugging your Instagram.
Oh my god.
Anyways, my game number 2 is The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. I was thinking about this game today while I was figuring out what we're going to do for Zelda Month, and this might have been the reason why I got pushed to the idea of the Zelda Month.
Mm-hmm.
Because I play Ocarina of Time at least once every year. I run through the entire game and beat it. I know everything there is to do in the game, how to do it. forwards, backwards, sideways, upside down, everywhere. I've gotten to the point where I'm pretty sure I can beat Ocarina of Time. And let me see, there's 7 dungeons, 3 more when you're a kid. So about 10 to 12 hours I can beat the entire game finding everything.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that would be a cool
challenge. Beat your record.
Yeah, like a cool charity stream event. That's something that can be done. You know, you donate while I complete everything in The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Maybe no. Anyways,
maybe
I've never beaten Master Quest, which the 3DS version does have Master Quest on it. After you beat the regular game, I think I got to like the Fire Temple the first time I played it, but I've never tried it after. But Ocarina of Time is such a near and dear game to my heart. It's a game that I grew up playing. It's a game that I played throughout my teen years, and it's a game that I played throughout my 20s, and I'm pretty sure that I'm going to play it through my 30s, and all the way till the day I die. Because like I said, I beat the game once a year.
That is your God-given right.
Yeah, so it's basically, this game is kind of, the chronological place where they put this game is kind of polarizing, because this is the game that actually diverges the Zelda timeline into 3 different paths.
That's so confusing.
The path where Link dies, the path where he stays a kid, and the path where he stays an adult. So it's a mess. It's a great game. You know, you get the Master Sword, you beat Ganon, you save Hyrule, you save Princess Zelda, you explore Hyrule in 3D for the first time ever. It's the characters are all so endearing. It's just so good. It feels like this game feels like eating your grandma's cooking. Your grandma's favorite, the best meal your grandma makes. That's what the game feels like eating.
That's pretty cute.
So, in my case, it would have been my grandma Helene's codfish fish salad and roots. But yeah, it's so actually that this game does remind me a lot of her, because I used to play this game a lot at her house. So what's your number 1 book?
My number 1 book, and I know we've discussed why I claimed it as my number 1 book before.
Because you like being prideful and judging people.
Oh my God, Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. No, I kind of just concluded that it was basically my favorite book of all time, because I have returned to it so many more times than anything else, and I've read so many different retellings of it.
How many times have you read the original?
I don't even know. And I didn't read it until senior year of high school, but I feel like I've almost reread it every year. I was required to read it so many times in college. And then...
Why?
Because I took a lot of English classes.
No, I know, but why would every single class be like, oh, you got to read Pride and Prejudice again?
Well, geez, I took a Jane Austen class. I took several Brit Lit classes, and she's like the pinnacle of British Lit. I was never required to read Tolkien in those classes. Well, I guess he's not like the same kind of literary icon that she was. Which I don't think is fair, but whatever.
He did copy the Bible word
hush.
word for word.
But no, I mean, it's a wonderful book. It's very humorous. I feel like she was way ahead of her times in terms of her sarcasm and wit. And that one thing that she does, there's a term for it. She did. Where she... where she writes an omniscient narrator, but then there are times when the narrator takes on the personality of the main character. I can't remember what that's called. Oh God, we had a whole segment on it in my damn Jane Austen class. It's been too long since college. Don't neglect your studies, children.
So she's narrating, and then out of nowhere she's like, but what? This person is saying this to me, or something like that?
No, it's like, okay, so she's an omniscient narrator. She's like writing about all the characters and like knows everything about everybody.
Okay.
But then every once in a while she'll still be writing from the narrator's point of view, but it'll like take on Lizzie's personality. Like, well, Mr. Darcy's just full of himself, isn't he? But it's not like Lizzie's saying. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah.
I can't remember the term for it. Jeez.
Okay. I get it now. That's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. She was way, way ahead of her time. And it's just a brilliant love story. It's got so much drama and intrigue and family dynamics and class relations and love and prejudice and pride. And it has a really good film adaptation. Colin Firth.
Yes, it also has.
Wetness.
Oh, God. It's a good thing that Colin Firth is so cool because...
And Matthew McFadden, or however the hell you pronounce his last name.
I think there was an episode of Family Guy where they were arguing about how to say his name, if it's McFadden or McFadden.
McFadden. It's spelled really weird.
McFadden.
It's spelled super weird.
Also, Family Guy likes to say fat a lot, so I'm pretty sure that's why they were saying McFadden.
Oh my God.
Like
and
emphasis
Keira
on the
Knightley and her super skinniness. Super skinniness.
I don't know who she is.
You don't know who Keira Knightley is?
I don't know.
You've seen fucking Pirates of the Caribbean, right?
No, I haven't.
What?
I don't care for pirates.
What?
I don't care for pirates. I don't care. Okay.
You're from Puerto Rico and you haven't seen Pirates of the Caribbean?
I don't care for Pirates of the Caribbean because of Johnny Depp.
I love Johnny Depp.
I hate that guy.
I feel really bad for Johnny Depp.
What's happening to him is terrible. It's actually a really...
And you liked him in Fantastic Beasts because he is not stereotypical Johnny Depp in those movies.
He was really good in that. And
I feel like we've talked about this before too.
What's happening to him right now is it's terrible. It's absolutely...
It's really sad.
Horrible. But I'm still not a fan of his acting. I do wish.
Well, surely you've seen something she's in. Surely.
I don't watch a lot of movies.
We need to watch Love Actually.
No.
Yeah. You would love it.
So my number one game is Star Fox 64. Star Fox 64 because she interrupted me with her groan.
How many times we have laid in bed at night with him playing this on his damn DS, and it's the same soundtrack over and over and over. I can't, but it drives me nuts because I'm sitting in bed watching TV, and all I hear is Star Fox.
You know what's funny? I start saying the lines along with the characters, and she just gets so irritated because I know every single line of dialogue in this game. And again, like in Zelda, I know all the secret paths, all the alternate routes, all the lines of dialogue, all the enemy patterns. If they put a gun to my head and say, beat a game 100% or we will kill you, I would do Star Fox 64 because there is nothing that Star Fox 64 can't throw at me that I cannot handle. And I did do a Star Fox 64 gaming memories. I did talk a lot about it, about playing it at my grandma's house and growing up playing with it and how it helped me learn English. But this is a game that is just comforting. It's my happy place. You know, it's just so freaking good. I don't like that it's anthropomorphic animals because, you know, furries. But it works for this game. You know, these are space animals that fight a giant space monkey that wants to take over the Lilat system. And each planet is different, and it all has different enemies. And, you know, there's so many variations to the game. Like, you will not play one stage that's exactly the same as a different stage. And even the alternating routes in these stages, they're all different. The game is such a work of love from Nintendo that I wish I could see in a new Star Fox game, but I don't think it's ever going to happen. But until then, I have Star Fox 64 on my Wii U and on my 3DS, and I am going to play them until the day I die, just like Zelda.
And I'm going to be annoyed until the day he dies.
So when we die, right, if you die first, I'm going to have you be buried in a mausoleum or something. And then when I die, I'm going to have myself be buried in the same one with my 3DS turned on and connected to a power outlet with Star Fox 64 playing forever so that I can annoy you for eternity.
You love me so much.
How does that sound?
It sounds amazing.
I'll have them put a TV over your grave playing Lord of the Rings on repeat.
Oh, thanks, hubby.
So, but that only happen if we're rich, which it'll never happen. We're always going to be poor.
Hey, don't say that.
We're never going to own property. All right. So you want to run through the list again?
Yes.
Tell me your top 5 books.
In which order?
5 to 1.
Okay. A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. The House in the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune. Wait, you threw me off. The Return of the King by J.R.R. Tolkien. And Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. If you haven't read the classics, you gotta at least give them a try.
Oh, and everything else by H.P. Lovecraft, except some of the stories, which are really terrible.
That reminds me of that meme that I shared on Facebook the other day.
Which one?
About Dracula and Cthulhu and Sauron. One memento. I'll read it to you after you share your list.
So my list, again, Dragon Ball Z Boost Fury for the Game Boy Advance, Final Fantasy VI for the Game Boy Advance and for Super Nintendo, also known as Final Fantasy III, Castlevania Aria of Sorrow for the Game Boy Advance, The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time for the Nintendo 64, 3DS, and it's also on the Wii U Virtual Console, which I should probably go buy that too, and Star Fox 64 for the Nintendo 64 and the Nintendo 3DS. And honestly, if we got stuck in an island with these games to play or these books to read, I think I'd be happy for all of eternity.
I have the meme.
What's the meme?
Count Dracula was 412 when he moved to England in search of new blood. Sauron was 54,000 years old when he forged the One Ring. Cthulhu had seen galaxies flare into life and fade to darkness before he put madness in the minds of men. It's never too late to follow your dreams.
That's very inspirational.
Right?
It is. It really is, especially the Cthulhu part. So, but yeah, so let's go ahead and get into some housekeeping so we can get this dumpster fire over with. Remember, welcome to a novel console. Why am I reading the intro? It skipped all the way back up. All right, so remember to go sign up for our Patreon because we have exclusive movie reviews in our Patreon. We still owe you guys Kong and Godzilla. We're going to do it. We actually got the Kong and Godzilla preview graphic novels. Not the preview, the prequel graphic novels. So we're going to read those. Then we're going to do the episode. It'll be a grand old time. Remember to follow us on Instagram, Twitter at A Novel Console, and on Facebook at facebook.com/ANovelConsole. Don't forget, you can also tell your friends that they can find the podcast on most major podcast streaming platforms, and they can also listen on YouTube by searching for A Novel Console. Don't forget to tell them to subscribe, like, and comment, which we would really, really like if they did. You can also leave a review on Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts so that more people can find us. I haven't checked the Google Podcast or Apple Podcast ratings lately. Last time I did was like 4 months ago, and we had 5 stars. Five stars. So what's that?
Whole 5
25
reviews.
Stars. You can also email us at anovelconsole@gmail.com. We will read your email on the show or not, depending on what you want. And our art was done by Metamorphic. And please remember, for June, Zelda Month. I know PBG does it in November, but we're not going to do November and run a long PBG on Zelda because that'll overload everybody on Zelda. Please send us your Zelda memories, your Zelda favorite games, or your opinions on Zelda, and we'll go ahead and read them on the show. And with that, I guess we're done for today. Anything else you want to say before we end the show, Karradyne?
Thank you for listening to me cry.
Again.
Again.
All right, so goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.